A wet work week ahead. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Scarlett. This evening, we're tracking showers and storms that could have you dodging raindrops tonight and into your Monday. You can see spots of rain right now in the upstate. The rain also means an end to those lovely 80s. Meteorologist Kevin Arnunn has a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a wet start to the work week. Now, a couple showers will be out there overnight tonight, and a little bit of fog, a little bit of mist, but that rain that we had earlier, that heavy rain and those gusty winds has now moved off. That was a front that was sliding through. Now the front's going to stall over us, and that's going to bring in some more rain as we go through the day tomorrow. Now, temperatures right now, you can wave goodbye to those 80s, welcome in those 60s. That's where we're going to be through much of this 7-day forecast. Right now, Columbia, upper 60s, 68 degrees, Lexington, 69, holding on to 70 in North Orangeburg, about 71 degrees. But these temperatures do go down to around 60. And if you feel the cooler weather, well, you're not alone, because look at this. We're about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than where we were 24 hours ago at the same exact time. Now, the gusty winds are done. That means we're going to be dealing with some fog overnight tonight with those calm winds. Here's your evening planner for the next couple of hours. You can see temperatures slowly get down into the mid-60s by, let's say, midnight, and then eventually get down to the low 60s by early tomorrow morning. Now, I do want to show you where the rain is. Nothing over us right now. This is the front that's going to be sliding in, bringing us some heavy rain tomorrow morning into the afternoon. Emily, we're going to time it all out for you coming up in that Futurecast. Over to you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kevin. Meanwhile, this same storm system brought relentless rain and fierce wind to parts of the Midwest and the South this weekend. This is a look at the deadly flooding in Louisville, Kentucky area where many have been rescued from their vehicles and homes. Kim Hutcherson reports.
Images of a tornado touching down near the Kentucky-Tennessee border, caught on cell phone video. According to the National Weather Service, parts of Kentucky and Tennessee were under a tornado watch until early Sunday morning. Most of the damage happened late Saturday.
I looked outside and start seeing the trees start bowing and start doing this. And right about that time, I all of a sudden felt the pressure on the window. I went, gotta go. We gotta go.
Several people in Kentucky were killed due to the severe storms. Governor Matt Bevin tweeted his condolences and warned residents to take the weather watches and warnings seriously. Parts of the state also dealt with this massive flooding. Emergency officials say that after the damaging wind threat and heavy showers, flash flooding will continue this week. And in some areas of Tennessee,
it started raining real hard, and then he saw this barn, the metal from this barn, take off, and then the windows busted out.
The storm ripped through home after home, destroying nearly everything in sight. In the Buckeye State, heavy rain led to widespread flooding.
You never can take Mother Nature for granted. The good news is damage, yes, infrastructure damage, but to people, loss of life, no loss of life.
And even parts of Arkansas witnessed the devastation. At least one storm-related death has been confirmed there. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Be prepared when storms are in the forecast. Download the free WIS weather app. You can track live radar from the palm of your hand and get the latest weather alerts sent straight to your phone. Breaking news just into our newsroom. British police are responding to a major incident after receiving reports of an explosion in northern London. This is new video of the scene. Authorities say on Twitter that emergency services are dealing with the incident and are asking the public to stay away from the area. British media outlets are reporting 4 people have been taken to the hospital in critical condition and that there's no indication that this explosion is terrorist related. New at 6, one person has been hospitalized in a shooting this morning in Richland County. This is new video of the scene on the 1500 block of St. Andrews Road. Right now, no word on the victim's condition. There's also no description of a possible suspect. A former Midlands assistant principal accused of having a 3-month relationship with a 19-year-old student will be in court tomorrow morning. Dawn Dimler is scheduled to appear in the Lexington County Courthouse tomorrow morning at 10. Dimler bonded out of the Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center this morning and was then taken to the Lexington County Detention Center. She faces charges of sexual battery by both the KC Department of Public Safety and the Columbia Police Department. She was fired earlier this month following a special board meeting of Lexington 2 officials. If convicted, she faces up to 30 days in jail, a $500 fine, or both. Top headlines now. Debates continue across our country on how to keep school children safe in the wake of a deadly school shooting in Florida this month that killed 17 students and staff. Today, Florida's governor spoke out against a suggestion by President Donald Trump to arm some school teachers. But South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster says he would sign a bill in the State House that would allow teachers in our state to carry firearms. Our Jenna Cisneros spoke with Midland's teachers to get their thoughts on the bill. Jenna?
Emily, not only is McMaster looking at this proposal, but as you mentioned, President Trump also tweeted a few days ago about looking at the possibility of giving concealed guns to gun adept teachers with military or special training. And according to a study from the FBI, officers who engaged in an active shooter were either wounded or killed in nearly 47% of incidents. Now, those are officers who are trained. With that being said, one Lexington County teacher I spoke with today believes teachers should not have to carry the responsibility of being armed at school.
I would protect my students the best way that I could by hiding them, but as far as having a gun myself, no, I'm not trained. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a skilled marksman. And if I understand correctly, there were school resource officers on the grounds in Parkland that were not able to stop this school shooting. Why would they think that an English teacher or a math teacher would be able to do that?
Here's what would become law if McMaster signs the bill. Teachers trained by SLED could carry concealed weapons on school grounds to respond to active shooters. Educators would also provide protection in the absence of law enforcement. For now, we are live in the studio. Jenna Cisneros, WIS News 10.
Thank you, Jenna. Meanwhile, Congress returns to work this week under heavy pressure to respond to the nation's outcry on gun violence. NBC's Jennifer Johnson has the latest from our nation's capital.
11 days after the Florida school massacre, students and parents were back for a voluntary orientation at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
We will all get through it together, and I know that no matter how much we cry, no matter what happens, we're all going to be okay.
Many students have now turned activists, pushing Congress to pass gun control laws. Republicans fear this polarizing issue could cost them votes in November, but Democrats are vowing to fight.
We can do some changes without hurting hunting, and that includes background checks, assault weapon ban, and some of these other things we're talking about.
President Trump is pushing for tougher background checks and a ban on bump stocks used in the Las Vegas massacre. But he and some Republicans also want to arm gun-experienced teachers.
98% of mass public shootings happen in a gun-free zone, and we've labeled all of our schools as gun-free zones. We need to take those labels off.
The NRA says it opposes increasing the age for gun buyers or any ban on weapons like the AR-15 used in Parkland.
People keep calling these weapons of war. This thing originated in the civilian market before it was adapted by the military. This is really a discussion about banning all semi-automatic firearms.
The NRA is under heavy fire on social media, and several corporations from Delta Airlines to Hertz Rent-A-Car are reacting and ending discounts for NRA members. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
Tomorrow, thousands are expected to say their goodbyes to America's pastor, including at least one former U.S. president. A public viewing for Reverend Billy Graham will be held Monday and Tuesday on the Billy Graham Library grounds in Charlotte. Former President George W. Bush and First Lady Laura Bush are expected to attend tomorrow's viewing. Yesterday, thousands lined the streets as Graham's body made a 130-mile trip from his mountain training center in Asheville to his boyhood home in Charlotte. Coming up, the fun is coming to a close in Pyeongchang, a preview of tonight's Winter Olympics closing ceremony and a look back on the last day of competition.